Generic greetings and welcome to Construction Plus Prison Architect Alpha 23 episode 2. In the previous episode we planned out the Alpha 23 prison. As you can see, we have it all done, or at least all planned out. In this episode we will start construction and we'll just see how far we get. I don't really intend on getting any prisoners over the next couple of episodes, really. It's more about just building what we can and whatnot. But as always, what we're going to do is build part of it, enough so it will actually function, get prisoners in, see how they react to that, and then obviously we'll make changes based on their feedback or riots, whatever happens first. So, first things first, we need to go to reports and then to grants. I'm going to get a basic detention centre grant, then we're going to get an administration centre grant, and I think we will just start construction. So foundation, and we will go to building brick or building concrete. We're going to use brick, I think. I've never even noticed that. That must be something new that's been added. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, so we need to get this admin centre around here done, but obviously all of this is really one building, or rather, hang on, where's the outdoor bit? I think that's outdoors there, that line there. Although it doesn't have to be outdoors, we could always keep it indoors. And that's supposed to be outdoors. That one has to be outdoors definitely because that's the kennel. Oh, that's the kennel. I don't know. One of them is the kennel. So let's just... We don't have to have any of this here. Outside, so that is going to be one big lump or building. There we go, 5 grand, and then we're going to do another big lump or building around to about there. Okay, and then we will get all of that done up to there, and then that little bit there, and that should be all of the building that we need there. And then we'll put a couple of the old doors in, we'll unpause it, and then as you can see it's registered as an actual area. All of this connects up, basically, all of the foundations, and we'll just unpause it and we'll let them crack a tour. We'll just let them crack on. So as you can see, workmen are going to grab all of the stuff off the van and start building it all. As you can see, we've got, oh, there's some containers, capacitors in there. What's in there? Large jail doors. We've got all the cement and stuff. There's probably going to be a couple more trucks. Oh, no, there isn't. Oh, yep, there we go. There's some more trucks. We'll put up to max speed, because why not? Because all they're doing is just placing some foundation. I'm just going to check. I think I've got 8 as standard. 8 workers, yes, you get 8 as standard. So we don't really need any more than that because we are on a limited budget. I know a couple of people were mentioning that I will run out of money if I build it all in one. Yes, I know my intention was never to build it all as one. Unless we actually move over from one prison to another and, you know, sell the previous one, we can't build it all in one go. And I don't really... I do like the sort of challenge of building it on a budget and such. I like the freedom of being able to just go, here's pretty much unlimited money, build! I like that, but it's good to have a little change. Anyway, as you can see, they are putting all of this stuff in. This is going to be the first thing that we make, really, because this is going to be our administration centre, and we'll actually get another 5 grand from actually getting that done, so that'll be quite good. I know a couple of people have mentioned that I have the psychologist in this building, in this area around here, instead of over here, where we've got our I always got to say pharmacy. It's not. It's the infirmary, where the infirmary is. So yeah, I realise that. I'm not actually going to move it. I'm keeping it over here in the staff only bit, and obviously prisoners will be escorted there. So as you can see, they've put most of this building down. I need to just go to large jail door and put one there. Then I need to get staff doors I say, and put one there, and basically put all the staff doors in for the officers. There we go. Then I'm going to put, I think, staff door on the export as well. There we are. Yeah, okay. That should be about it. I'm going to use brick walls throughout. I'm not going to really use many fencing. I don't think I'm going to use any fencing. No, I don't think I am. I'm just going to use brick. There we go. So we'll put all the brick in. And obviously, this does cost money, so we need to be careful. I have 42,375 generic units of currency, and just make sure I don't overspend on that one. Right, this is where we're going to have our power block and such. So I might as well put that in first because we do have these sitting on the van. Oh, actually, no, they're sitting in our deliveries now. So we'll put that power there. Then we'll put the water pump station there. Then we'll put the capacitors along there. Obviously, we'll buy a couple, and then we'll power that up like so. And obviously, we'll have to run cable and such, but I'll do that in a moment. Right, so, offices. Let's just go to our rooms, and then to our office, and we'll designate all of these. Oh, there's the power coming on. All of them is office. There you go. And as you can see, they are shouting for office desk, chairs, and the filing cabinets. So, we're going to shove all of these items in, and we might as well do them all because the office furniture isn't that expensive. This isn't IKEA or anything, overpriced stuff. So we're going to, sorry, I don't mean that. I don't really have anything against IKEA. I own a desk. My desk that I'm at now is from IKEA. I mean, it was second-hand off eBay, and it was like, you know, a third of the price for what essentially is a lump of chipboard with some adjustable legs. But anyway, we're not going to get onto that. I mean, I don't own shares in IKEA or anything. Good job and all, because we just went down 2 points. Right, let us put in some windows. Oh, we can't put in windows yet, because that would not function, because this we don't have access to. So, what I need is... This is like our airlocky thing, and I'm going to put the scanners either side. I don't know why I did that, I just like the idea of it. I need to put in the brick walls, but the problem I have is that I haven't really decided exactly where the entrance for these things are going to be. I'm guessing we'll put it at... either side, maybe like that, something like that, there and there. I don't know where the best place would be. I don't want it... Oh, I could have them there and there, 2 doors there and there. That would make a bit more sense, because then you could easily get access to the entire area. Yeah, we'll do that, so you can quickly go and rush out to there. Then we're going to put a large window in, we'll put one in there, and we'll put one in there. You can't even spin it around. Or rather, it doesn't do anything. Right, there we go. There's that put in. Then we'll obviously put in some brick walls in the little gaps that I left out there. There we go. And we'll just finally brick up the rest of this. Now, that was our classroom. This is going to be our storage area. Then this is going to be our visitation. Okay? There's that sorted. Just need to put a bit of brick there. And that's all the brick we need. Actually, we do need brick wall right across here, but that's probably going to cost a fair amount of money to get it right to there, so probably not going to do that. Right. Looks like all of that is put in. Let us just see. Yeah, all of our offices are done. None of them are shouting that there's a problem, so I will firstly have a sip of beverage, actually. Today's beverage is beef gravy. I ran out of Bovril, so, you know, beef gravy will have to suffice. Right, let us put in... It's not. It is actually Bovril. Right, let us put a couple of staff in these offices. Let's get a warden. There we go. Even though I put him in that office, he goes, bugger you, I want that one up there. Fine, fine, whatever. So we got a warden, and as you can see, we now have half of the administration centre grant completed. So I just need to go to our bureaucracy tab and go, oh my god, this is really big. Let's go and unlock finance. And we'll close that. What else do we need? We need to hire an accountant, so that's fine. So we don't really need any other items in here, but I do want... I basically want all of these, so maintenance, security, it's just the order that I want them in, and then psychology, health, and then education, but because that's £2,000, I'm going to leave it, because I don't want to overspend. Well, I already have overspent, you understand, but still, we'll leave that as is. Right, so, let us run the old power cabling, and we're going to run it across from there, like so, and then we're going to run it down through the corridors, like that. Okay, and obviously this isn't actually corridor out here, this is just, I don't know, how far do we need to go with that? About there, I think, actually, because we need to then power up this building, whatever that'll be. So we'll just power up each of these offices. Now, I don't know if these need separate power cables going in, but they're going to get it anyway. There we go. And this one will have power coming in the back. This one will have the same, and then this area here will have going in like that, and then like that. This one will have it going in like that, and that should be all of it powered up, really. That should do it. Now, as soon as I put some doors on it, might mess it up a bit, so we'll see what happens. Let me just go to rooms, actually, and designate that as storage before I forget. There we go. I'm just going to go to staff door, make that a staff door, that a staff door, and that a staff door. I could put the larger doors and have them automated with the door open and closing facility, because that's something that obviously has been added with Alpha 23, and it's not actually in there. It's actually in utilities. Look, door servo and such, but they are quite expensive and you do have to wire them up, so it's something that I want to leave. And obviously that's something new as well with the Alpha. It's brand new, which means it probably has a bug or two in places. I know there's already bugs in Alpha 23. Apparently one of them is that you just cannot treat patients for their drug addiction, which is going to be quite interesting, but you know, that's only what I've been told, so we'll have to see, won't we? Right. This area here, the exports and the garbage, I know someone mentioned that we should put doors over it. Don't think we need to do that. We've already got a door there, although there is a little bit of a problem because if someone does run past, they're literally one door from getting out. So I'm going to put a door there just for security. I think that might do the job. Right, let's go to staff, and we're going to hire an accountant. There we go. And that is our administration centre grant completed. So we now have another £5 in our pockets. But we also have a new slot. So we can go to grants and we can get something else. So we got education reform. We got staff well-being, short-term investment, long-term investment, health and well-being. That's £20. Psychologist, 2 doctors, medical wards, staff. What's this? 55. Education reform. Education, classroom, 20 school desks, 15 prisoners past. Alright, so that is a really long term one, that one. And you only get £15 on the advanced payments. So we need to get more money up front first. That is staff well-being. Build a staff room, have at least 5 guards without assigned duties, ensuring none of your staff are exhausted. That one's actually very easy to do right at the start of the game. So we'll probably get that in a bit. I think I'm going to go for short-term investment because we should be able to do that in one block. There we go. Right, so it looks like storage is put in. Looks like all of our bureaucracy's getting done, whatever it would be. Let's go foundation, and we'll go to the bricks, and we're going to do that all the way to there. And that's going to be our staff room and our shotgun holding facility, aka the armory. So we also need to put some doors on it, and I might put, do I put the biggest honkinest doors that I can on there? No, let's just put, yeah, let's put the biggest honkinest doors on I can, because that is a remote door actually though. So let's put a standard door. It's called remote door, but it doesn't actually say it needs to be connected. I don't know. I've never used that. We'll just try it out. We'll try it out. We'll see what happens. You know, put a staff door on the staff room. There we go. And that's one big building, which is obviously not what we want. We want a brick wall separating the two, like that. There we go. Job done. Right, there's that sorted. Now I'm hoping that the pathfinding doesn't go mental. Nope, it seems to work. I know if you had an outside bit before, it really didn't like it sometimes. So, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Right, let's put a brick wall along there, and that separates the two areas. Because this is like our, I guess this is what you would call the sort of secondary part of the prison. This is like all the admin stuff, all of the stuff you really need to run the prison, but prisoners don't necessarily need to be there. So that's all this part. This is obviously where all of the meat, this is where the meat of the prison is. So we've got brick wall, and we're going to click and drag, and we're going to build a honking brick wall all the way along the outside. So along to there and along to there. Okay, because that's something that we need to do, because otherwise it will break, because they'll just run off. I know there's been a couple of people mentioning that, well, not happy that well, one of my comments I made last episode is that I said I was building this in such a way that it is actually a little bit flawed, in the sense that we've got a gap around the wall here, and people can fling drugs and contraband over the wall. Now, I should really explain myself. I was going to put it right next to it like this. If you put it, this is the gap that you can't do anything with this gap. You can't build over it, right? So that's as close as I could get it. Now there's like a 10 block space, so it'll be about here, where contraband can be flung over. Okay, to sort of get around it, you could just literally build a building that would go all the way there to there and then up and like that. As long as it's not 10 gaps of, like a gap of 10 free that isn't a building, then you should be all right. You should be able to just, if you basically build a building like that all the way around, like a big horseshoe, like a big magnet or whatever, you won't get contraband flung over. However, it can still come in other ways, and it can still be flung in from this way and such, so from the deliveries and things like that. So it's something that you can't totally like negate, but it is something that I wanted to just experience, because I thought we'll make a gap around it. I normally put gaps around things anyway, for fire and whatnot, and I can have people patrolling around it, and it also means if they get caught, we can then punish them for it, and then that increases our grading, I guess, because they're actually disciplining and doing all of that. Anyway, let us go to foundations and then to the brick building again. I'm going to do this building at the back, not because I want to actually have this building, but because I wanted to finally block off the room. So as in, if I put this in, that'll be the entire prison bricked off, so there's no gap all the way around. That's what we're going to do. Let's just go to our rooms for a second and put our yard in across there. There we go, and we'll do the same thing there. Now, obviously, that's going to shout at us. There you go. It's basically saying, hey, no, it's not secure behind at least one door and walls and such. However, that is a bit of a test, because as soon as that building gets built, that should register as being inside and behind doors. And if it does that, we know that we have successfully secured this internal part of the prison. So, any second now. There we go. That is now built. And that is now registered as a yard all back behind doors. Excellent! That's exactly what we wanted. So, perfect. Not bad at all. So, do I want to have a fence around this, or do I want to use brick wall? I think fence. I don't know why, but yards seem a little bit better if they're behind a fence. There we go. So, put the fence all the way along like that. Now, I'm not going to actually put a... I'm not going to put any doors on this. I think I was originally, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm not going to bother at all putting doors on that one. I'm going to leave it as is. As you can see, $228 spent on fence. Because fence now costs money. So if you were thinking, yes, free fence is amazing. Nope, changed. You get no free fence. No free fence for you, my friend. Right. I'm just thinking that has already got... That's not got much of a strain on it, to be honest with you. Not when I've got another big lump of capacitor that I can put in. I'm just thinking that the automatic door opening and closing area will pretty much be these two areas here. The rest will not. I think I'll have CCTV over there, over in one of these areas. I don't know which one it is. I think it was that one. I can't remember. That was laundry. That was cleaning cupboard. That was morgue. That was infirmary. That was common room. That was secondary sort of Alcoholics Anonymous common room-y type thing. And that is our... Yeah, that's security there. So I was going to put more security and door opening facility there. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to put all the door opening stuff in here and the CCTV cameras and such in there. I just think it works a little bit better. Right, so I think we will leave it there for this episode. A little bit of a short one, a little bit shorter than normal, but that's okay. I want to definitely get this cell block done next episode. However, I'm very aware that my bank balance is quite low, so we will have to see. I'm going to try and get this detention centre stuff done, and we'll see how far we get with that. Obviously, we've got this short-term investment as well, which is going up, so we will see, won't we? As always, comments in the comments if you think there's been a mistake or you want me to change things and all of that sort of thing. Thank you very much for watching, and generic partings.